I'm with Louis Chevrier, owner of Canadian Coin Certification Service and also owner of Monnaie Louis Chevrier, a local coin store located in the city of St-Hubert in the suburb of Montreal. Can you give me a quick recap of your career and the precious metals and coin collecting market?
Well, I started as a coin dealer in '93,
Okay.
late '93, and I did that part-time because I was working, and in '99 I decided to stop and do that full-time.
Okay.
So I started selling on eBay
Right.
full-time and declare everything and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that on eBay till 2008.
Okay.
When I felt that eBay changed a lot, there was a lot of restriction, very little protection for dealers.
Right.
And the dealers pays all the fees. So I was finding that very disturbing. So I stopped using eBay completely.
Were you ever a victim of the scams? Like I've heard scams like people ordering capsules, coins, and then saying they were damaged, and then not sending them back and getting a refund.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in
Yeah.
2008. That's one of the reasons I decided
Okay.
I had enough. So I stopped that.
Right.
But in the meantime, in 2003, I bought the show Numiphilex.
Yes. Okay.
With Gabriel Sebag. We bought that together. We moved it from Blue Bonnets, where it was at the time, to the Olivier on Sherbrooke.
Okay.
And in 2004, we started doing auction because we recuperate the rights at
Right.
the time that were owned by the original owner, the Silverholic. So we started doing auction at the Numiphilex show.
Okay,
I was the one
right.
doing the auction. And I also started CCCS in 2004.
Right.
So I was quite busy for many years.
Yes.
2-3 years later, we split, me and Gabby. I kept the auction and the auction right,
Mhm.
the show. I did the auction till 2015,
Okay.
where I decided I had enough, the market was tough. There was little money to be made because some competitors were so well organized, they were getting all the good consignment. So I took the decision to cut that. And CCCS was of course growing. So
Okay.
I had a lot of work there.
Yeah.
And in 2017, I decided to open the shop. So I opened the shop plus CCCS.
Right.
I was busy enough with that. So I stopped completely doing the auction.
So when you were doing the auctions, what type of pieces were you selling? Was it like old numismatic coins or more mainstream?
It was mainly numismatic material.
Okay.
There could be some mint product, but usually we were trying to stick to coin, paper money, tokens.
Okay.
Stuff that collectors really want.
Right.
The mint product, there's some collector that buys them too, but most of the people, they are more interested in real numismatic. Too many of them, the mint product are just like flashy stuff
Right.
for mom and pop. They buy them, they give that to the grandkid. or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
It depends. It's a different market. I see today, we see auction, they can have 500 lots, it's just mint product, and they sell fairly well.
Right.
Things change with time. Right now, because of the pandemic, a lot of shops are closed. Many people are out of work. They have money because they get money from the government, and they can't buy much coin because they don't trust the stuff online.
Right.
So mint product are usually all the same thing. So many people, I guess, have started buying mint product in
Right.
auction. And people that are selling them at auction seem to be doing fine with it. But some years ago, when I stopped the auction, we would have like a very small fraction of the value
Okay.
compared to today.
So the slowdown was in the numismatic stuff then?
No, I still know most of the auctioneer in Canada, and
Yes.
they are doing extremely well right now.
Okay.
Because people can't go
Right.
to store, or they don't trust going to store because they're afraid. So there's a lot of people buying online. You have people selling on eBay, on Kijiji, on Marketplace, on Facebook groups, on Etsy. There's all kinds of places. So a lot of people buy online because they have access to so much material.
Okay.
They can do it from their living room.
Right.
So it is an advantage to be online at the moment, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, the shipping is a lot of work for sure.
Well, you have to add stuff all the time
Right.
in your store. You have to ship, you have to do pictures.
Yes.
I have a web store that I opened towards the end of last year,
Okay.
but I lacked the time to garnish it.
Right. And how do you update it? Because prices keep fluctuating. So what do you do for
The stuff
prices?
In the store right now is mainly certified coins or
Okay.
certified banknotes. There's no bullion.
So those don't vary in price?
Not very often.
Okay,
If something
okay.
goes up, I'll change the price on
Right.
the website. But usually, the things that are important to control rapidly is the price of bullion,
Right.
and I don't put bullion in the store.
I see. Okay. Makes sense. What made you choose this field of expertise when you decided to go into it?
I think you don't decide on that.
So it came from passion, basically,
Well,
for
I was a
the
collector,
right.
and like many people, I got to a point where I couldn't afford what I wanted.
Right.
What I could afford, I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew some of the dealer of the time, and one told me, "Why don't you become a coin dealer?
Mm-hmm.
Because the stuff you have, you'll buy so much of it that you'll be laughing, and you'll be buying better stuff. So
Right.
if you want to collect some of it, you can, or you can just become a dealer and have good inventory. And you will always see new material, inexpensive or super rare,
Right.
depending on your luck and what comes your way." So I thought about it. I had business before, twice. So I took like a few minutes to think, and I said, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And I started like that. I put all my inventory, I priced it, I graded it, and I put it in binder, and I did my first show December 1993.
Right.
And from there, just kept going. I did my first major show in '94, Numiphilex, and '95 or '96 I started going to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the Edmonton show, the Vancouver show, I've done the Marathon, I did the CNAs, most of them in the last 26, 27 years. So I've been around, and there's a lot of people across Canada because of all my activities, of course, the auction.
Right.
So it helps also for the business. I have people that can send me a box of material they want to sell, and they're in Alberta. I haven't seen them in years.
Right.
But they know me by either they met me or they know me by reputation.
Okay.
Makes things easy sometimes.
So as a dealer, when you go to a show, is it really worth it? I've heard people saying, well, it's not worth my time because I could be in my shop doing the same thing, and I have to pay for the table and everything. And
I agree with that. The small shows,
yeah.
Because people buy online more and more,
Right.
the small shows have been going down.
Okay.
And that was the reason I wanted to shop.
Right.
And I don't regret it because it's been a good move, and the shows have continued going down.
Right.
I still do Numiphilex because I usually do grading
Right.
over there. So
Yeah, and it's good advertising for you. People can know your service.
I advertise the shop while I'm there.
Exactly.
The one thing I've changed, I used to do it the same day,
Right.
but it was a lot of material and equipment to carry around.
Okay.
And there was always some complication with the computers because of the setup.
Okay.
So what I did the last time we had the show was to do it overnight. So I
Okay.
would get the material during the day and tell the people you have it tomorrow. And I would do them in the office during the evening and bring them back to the show the next morning with the invoice.
So how long does it usually take you to grade a coin? Is it a long process?
The grading itself is not long.
Okay.
What is long is you have to print your certificate.
Right.
You have to put everything in the lip, the holder, and seal everything. And you have to check, double check sometimes that there's no error, it's sealed properly, etc. That is the time-consuming operation.
Okay.
Grading, with experience, it's not long.
Right.
You take a little more time when you have an error coin, when you have, let's say, a very expensive coin by nature. If I grade a 50 cent 21, I'm going to spend more time on it.
Right, just to make sure everything is right.
But if I grade, grading a coin per se doesn't take much time.
Okay.
It could be 10, 15 seconds.
Okay, I see.
With experience and time, usually you look at an item. A coin is easier than a banknote. A banknote, you need a lot. But a coin, you can just hold it, look at it one side, look at it the other side. Right there, you have the grade.
Right.
Then you look, you can take the loop, verify certain details, just to fine tune your grade, or confirm or change the grade. But usually, the big coins are easy to grade just with your eyes, like dollars, 50 cents.
Right.
A small coin, like 5 cents.
Like a 5 cents, right.
Just to make sure you're not missing something.
Yes.
But, when you grade thousands and thousands of coins a year, plus all the stuff I grade at the shop, want it or not, you get good.
Right.
And it's an advantage also for people that I have both, because, like I say to my customer, if I sell you a coin and I put EF on the holder, sell it to you at EF price, and a few years later you send it to me for grading, you've changed the 2x2, I don't know you sold me this coin.
Yes.
I graded VF20.
Right.
You might come back and say, hey, we bought this coin as an EF from you, so it looks bad. So I grade at the shop the same way
Right.
I would grade, at the certification.
So what do you think about the saying that grading is subjective? Like a lot of people use that. So is that true?
No, grading is not that subjective.
Okay.
There is little variation.
Right.
In grow, at large, we use standards.
Right.
So, we're going to grade the same way all the time, but there's little things that can vary.
Okay.
You have to look at the wear or the lack of
Right.
wear. When it's uncirculate, you have bag marks or lack of bag marks, but you also have to consider the quality of the stripe and the luster.
Right.
So you can have a VF coin with lots of luster and a VF coin with no luster at all.
Okay.
So technically they're both VF.
Right.
But the VF with luster you can sell for more money. So sometimes what you'll get is you'll get that VF as a VF turn.
Right.
Then you don't need to do anything. The price will be adjusted by using the price and you have on it, and then you get the right price. So we don't CCCS. I don't use the plus or minus.
Okay.
The American company have started that. You can get a MS64 plus or
Right.
MS65 plus. We don't do that. It's like splitting hair at one point.
Okay.
But you do have items, paper money or coin, that get the same grade, and one is better looking than the other.
Right.
Because it's not all the look, it's not all the bag mark, it's not all the wear. There's other factors considered.
Okay, excellent. So how difficult is it to run both coin grading service and your coin shop at the same time?
It works okay. I am at CCCS office when this here is closed,
Right.
and I'm at the shop 5 days a week.
Okay.
In the worst of case, I can bring material to grade here, so I save a bit of time, and then when I go to the office of CCCS, I'll do the slabbing and the certificate.
Right.
So when I don't have to spend the time to grade, it's already a good part of the operation done. But normally, before COVID, I used to have a grader.
Okay.
So everything was graded by 2 people, so that had to be done at the office.
Okay.
That person right now is older than me and is nervous about the COVID, so we agree that as long as this is not resolved, he's going to stay home and not do the work. But
Right.
we've been doing it together since 2008.
Okay.
So it's been over 10 years that we grade together, and we're pretty much at par, 95 to 98%, always the same grade.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I've been grading alone for maybe 9 months to a year, the results have not varied. People are still very happy with the
Excellent.
It's still the same quality grade.
So in the case of a let's say someone sends you a coin worth, I don't know, $100,000. Do you both grade it to make sure you agree on the grade, or it's?
We were grading everything.
Okay.
Everything. I would do an order.
Right.
With grading. Before writing anything, I would make a photocopy, write the name of the client. So you would have just like a blank sheet.
Mm-hmm.
You would just write his grading.
Right.
Writing, that was my job. Just the grading. So when he's working on a second order, I would compare the two sheets.
Right.
All the grades are the same. Fine, I throw a sheet in the garbage. This is done. And then when he's gone, I can work on slabbing the material.
Excellent.
That's the way we proceed.
Right.
If there was an item that we don't agree, we would discuss that item
Mm-hmm.
and find out why he thinks it's this grade, why I think it's this grade.
Right.
Usually just putting it in verbs, you know right away who's wrong, who's right, and you can correct.
Yeah, I guess it's something that one might have missed in a case like that.
No, it's just sometimes you look at things and you can miss a little factor.
Right.
You look at a coin, you may miss a scratch
Right.
or a little bang in the hair or something like that. That will affect the grade. So, but most of the time, the difference in grade were half a grade or something.
Okay.
It was
Right.
rarely like I said it's an EF and you say it's a mistake.
Right. Of course.
We're experienced enough to.
Yes.
They were always very, very small margin of error, and it's usually something simple but oversight.
Okay. Excellent. So, if you had to go back in time, would you choose the same path again in terms of career?
Very hard to say. Very hard to say. I might do a few things differently.
Okay.
But that's with experience.
Yes.
If I was going back in time with the experience, I would do something quite differently.
Right.
Of course. But who wouldn't? But if I was just to go back in time and lack the experience, I would probably do the same thing.
True. Yes.
So this is all the steps I've had in this business has given me all the experience I have today, and I'm very glad for it.
Yes. So you're happy with the career you had and what you're doing right now?
Man, but I
Yes.
pay my bills, and I can take a vacation here and there. This is what is important. I don't
Yes.
strive to become a millionaire. I'm
Right.
happy if it happens. It's not my main goal.
Excellent. So you already talked about this a little bit, but I would like to go maybe more in depth with it. So can you explain the coin grading, how it works exactly? Like when you look at a coin, what are you looking for at first, and how do you proceed to grade it?
Normally, we have what I call the first glance.
Right.
You look at the coin both sides. You already have a decent idea, unless it's a small coin,
Mm-hmm.
what the grade will be.
Okay.
And then I take the loop and I examine to make sure I don't miss small details. Usually it's that. Where there's more things to do is when you have a rare coin that you need to put on the scale, verify the weight.
Okay.
Sometimes you may even have to verify the thickness, diameter, but those are rare. It's usually to verify authenticity.
Okay.
And sometimes there's all the key dates, we'll weight them.
Right.
If we have gold coins, we have to weight them. That's why certain things are more expensive. Like all the error, we charge more money because they are more work.
Right.
To verify, we have to make sure it's not a basement job. There's a lot of those around.
Okay.
And you have to know basically how a coin is made.
Right.
And when you look at the error, can this happen?
I see. Okay.
There is things that are considered real error
Mm-hmm.
because they're backdoor jobs. They've been voluntarily fabricated by employees who exchange dies and different things like that to make you, or they exchange planchet to put the wrong planchet in the
Okay,
press
okay.
and things like that. But there's also error happening in the normal way. Planchet can fall incompletely in the color.
Right.
So you'll have an off-center coin, things like that.
Okay.
There's a way of verifying if they're genuine. You can have indented second stripe, you can have blockage, And there's always signs that show you if it's a genuine one or not.
I see.
You
Okay.
have to take the time to examine these details. Straightforward coin is fairly easy to grade. It's a question of experience. It's looking at the right detail.
Mhm.
What is it that we normally look on this coin? When you're looking at coins like George V, George VI, we usually work with the crown. You
Okay.
have to look at the jewel, the wear of the crown is the highest one. So you look at that, and this is usually, you can see by first glance, you have a good idea what the grade will be. As I said earlier, you have to verify the rest. There's some weak strikes or strong strikes that
Mhm.
can affect that. So you have to look, if you have a coin that looks like a VF that has the luster of a mint state coin, or maybe it's an AU or something like that.
I
with a
see.
weak strike.
Okay.
I've seen coin in the Edward period that were mint state, 64, 65, and were lacking detail in the crown. Because they were
I see.
very, very weak strike.
Okay. Okay.
And before the mint opened in 1908, the coins were made principally in the British Mint,
Mhm.
or Eton Mint, which is a private mint in England.
Okay.
And they were coins for the colony, for them.
Right.
So the quality control was not always there.
Okay.
So that's why we have a lot of coins from that period that are weak strike. And sometimes we have pure gems. There's a orb that came out in the 80s from the Eton Mint.
Mhm.
That's why we see a lot of 1902H, 1903H that are very high grade.
Okay.
They came from that orb. They were all in state coin, bags of them.
Mhm.
And they hit the market here after being sold at auction in England. And a lot of them came back here. They've been bought by dealers and people, attending those auctions. You can have things like that, but most of the time, when they were, sending the bag of coin, they were shipped by boat.
Okay.
They would take weeks, and they would be in humidity because over sea.
Right.
And they would, it's changed for them. So the bags were thrown, in the pier or whatever.
Mhm.
So the manipulation of the coins were pretty rough.
Right.
So the circulation coin normally it was difficult to have very high grade coin
Okay.
in those days, but there was, and some have been saved. But there's period, during the Victoria era or the Edward, where it's very difficult to find very, very beautiful coin with no mark or anything.
I see. Okay. Right.
I noticed that some American grading companies are a little more liberal with the bag mark of the Victorian coin.
Okay. Because there's so few that are in good condition. Basically, they
Well,
upgrade them.
There's coin I've seen in different U.S. grading companies that were graded 66, 67,
Mhm.
that, in my opinion, were just 64.
Right.
But they grade the way they want, and they have other considerations. One of them being when they grade over a certain value, on top of the charge for the grading, they
Right.
charge a percentage of the value of the coin on top of it.
I see. Okay.
at
So
the
it's
end
a
of the
bit
year,
biased
it's a lot
then.
of millions in your pocket.
Right. Exactly.
I would say that's a conflict of interest.
Yes.
But they're the biggest company or some of the biggest companies, so they can pretty much do what they want.
Yeah.
If we were to try that in Canada, I don't know how it would.
You're more regulated, or it's just that people would not trust you if you did?
No, I think it's just people. The only people that pay these kind of prices
Mhm.
because they're sending very expensive material.
Yes.
They know they will probably get an overgraded coin, and
Okay.
they intend to sell it and make more money.
Right. Okay.
It's just human nature.
Yes. Well, it makes sense that you would want the most value you can for what you have.
Yes, but as a dealer, and I say that to clients a lot of time, dealers are there to make money.
Yes.
So when they buy in shops, and we have a grading guide that's been done by Alain Langlois,
Okay.
Canadian. It's not perfect, but it's the best thing on the market right now. It's probably the best thing that has ever been made.
Mhm.
I sell it here, and I even tell my client, don't feel.
Can you show it to us?
Sure, just a sec.
Okay.
This is
Excellent.
the grading guide.
Right.
And you have picture of every grade
Right.
per different coins, the nickel, the silver. They just stop at the modern coin in nickel because
Okay.
they're usually not worn out enough, and they have both sides of the coin.
Right.
So you have a very good ID. All the pictures are exactly the same size. They have been doctored to remove the things that don't affect the grade.
Okay.
The scratch, the big ding or bag mark, or when you have a mid-state coin, you look at his picture, they look like MS-65.
Right.
They remove everything because what is important to look is what the coin is supposed to feature.
I see. Okay.
So if you add bag mark, it's just going to lower the grade.
Right.
It's not supposed to have wear on the coin.
Okay.
So this is the ID. You can see what the coin look like. So, I see people coming to me with a coin and saying, "Oh, it's brand new," but their coin look like this.
Okay.
It's not new. They haven't seen a better coin than that.
Right.
So they think it's new.
Right.
And they say, "Oh, it look good," but it's just a fine or a very fine. So this is a good grading guide, and I recommend all my clients to buy it. And I tell them, feel free to use it when you buy something here.
Yes.
If you go somewhere else or if you buy on the internet, use it. Check what the coin is supposed to look like with the grade the seller said.
Right.
And if it doesn't look like that, you're going to pay your book pretty fast by not buying it.
Yeah, by avoiding just one mistake, you're paid for. Right.
Exactly. So
Okay.
It is something that can help people a whole lot.
Okay.
I have looked at the book before it was published,
Mm-hmm.
and I told Andre, it's not perfect. It's probably about 90% accurate. But it took 10 years to gather all the picture, and the picture that are not perfect is because they're not exactly on the grade,
Right.
the pure grade. So sometimes there's some coins that are very difficult to find perfectly as it should be on that grade. So I said, use what you have, publish the book, put it on the market, and if in 10 years you have corrected the picture that are not right, you can have a second edition.
Okay.
But this is a tool that you need. There's a lot of new collectors going on the market, and they have no clue what they're doing.
Yes.
And it's more important to buy this than buy a catalog for value.
Right.
Because at least with this, they can know the conditions, then they can take their book and check the value and know if they have a good deal or not.
Exactly.
But if they don't know how to grade, they buy. It's like in the U.S. there is company that they're just dealers slabbing their stuff, and they're well known to be 4 and 5 grades above the real grade.
Okay.
And these dealers usually put their material on eBay.
Right.
They start everything at 99 cents.
Right.
So the people that know how to grade look at the coin, bid on the coin. But you have people that don't know what they're doing. They take the catalog, they look at the grade of the coin on the holder, and say, "Oh, it's worth $5,000." And it's at $300.
One thing, though, I'm sure you know that, but I think it's really dangerous to grade a coin on eBay because depending the way the picture was taken, like you can have a very damaged coin if you put the light right correctly on it, it won't show anything.
Yes.
So
there's all kinds of ways to doctor your pictures. Anyway.
also, yes.
And the problem now we see it a little less on eBay because these guys, when they sell their stuff, they cannot mention grading because they're
okay.
not a recognized company.
Okay.
But the coin is still in a holder that says it's this grade.
Right.
So if the coin is graded MS65 and it's a AU55,
Mm-hmm.
the difference in price is considerable.
Right.
And some people look at the price of the 65, they'll bid the price of the 62 thinking they have a good deal. They'll probably pay less than that,
Mm-hmm.
but they probably pay 3, 4, 5 times the price it's worth.
Right.
I've seen it with a 1948 dollar that we traded in the 65, and the client brought it to me and it was an MS62.
Okay.
Lucky for him, that's the price he paid, the price of an MS62. So he didn't lose any money, but he was very deceived. He thought he had a $15,000 coin in his hand,
Okay.
for $2,500.
Right.
But you have to be careful. There's a lot of that on the internet. eBay has done at least one thing. There's 4 grading companies from the US that are approved on eBay, and the 3 Canadian companies were all on eBay.
Okay.
When you list, there's a place where you put the name,
Yes.
and you have a drop down of the grading company. Sometimes we're not directly there, but if you click the button that says more, then we're there.
Okay.
And this is done in order to protect buyers from a lot of the very poor quality trading companies.
Yeah, I know that since last year, eBay has been starting to kind of protect people more because there were so many scams going around that they are putting new rules in place all the time now. But
We've been doing that since they opened.
oh, okay.
One big problem is that they protect the buyer because they say if we don't have any buyer,
Yes.
the seller won't make money.
Yes.
One of the problems I have with that is that the seller pays all the fees.
Exactly.
The buyer
Yes.
pays what he bought and that's it. And the dealers have a hard time making money when they're selling legit stuff. And
Right.
They grade it properly and they buy it at a decent price. So some of them try to find ways to, let's say, make a little more money. So some have started charging more shipping to cover,
Yes.
the fees that eBay charge.
Yeah, which are pretty expensive.
Yeah. So eBay decided to charge fee on the shipping
Right.
to counter that. So, it's a pull and tug
Yes.
game between eBay and the people on eBay.
Right.
When I started selling in '98 on eBay, they were a year and a half old, and when you were going to the front page of eBay, the main page, they were telling you how many registered user eBay had and how many items were on eBay at the time.
Right.
And both numbers were around 1 million.
Right.
They have over, I think it's over 125 million users,
Yes.
and they have about 50 million items at all
On
times.
sale. Right.
So it's a different game, and the coin market is not even 2% of their business.
Right.
So they try to help the buyers and the seller, but it's negligible for them. So, they could do a lot better, but they don't.
Well, since I started my channel, I've always tell people the best thing is to find a good LCS, know the person that you're dealing with in person, and find someone you're compatible with, because you might like some type of products and the buyer would like something else. So you have to find someone basically who is in the same kind of market that you're looking for, and then do a local business.
Coin shop will have a very good selection of everything. Mint product from Canada,
Yes.
from other countries. We'll have coins, we'll have paper money.
Yep.
We'll have tokens, medals, name it.
Right.
Usually, and this is my policy, I don't know about other shops, but I usually buy practically everything that people bring.
Okay.
I mean, if you bring me a handful of change that should just be spent, I'll tell you spend it. When people bring a collection,
Yes.
I take just about everything in it,
Okay.
and I don't get stuck with anything.
Right.
I mean, I have lots of inventory,
Yes.
but everything eventually sells.
Okay.
It's just a question of showing it and having the right customer showing up.
Right.
And usually, pretty much everything is collectible in the field. There's no bad stuff to that.
I see. Okay. Excellent. We were talking about the factors that influence the value of the coins earlier. So can you give us a quick rundown of what's the most important factor for value and what's the least important?
Well, value is very relative.
Right.
We say it's worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. But the thing is, we have different catalogs, we have a trend, we have some websites that give price.
Okay.
They're all based on different factors. Some take the auction results, some other take eBay, some other take their own shop. So it's difficult to come up with the right price.
So let me just rephrase the question maybe, because what I meant is in terms, let's say I want to purchase a coin. Is the mintage, the number minted, very important? Is the interest of people wanting to buy what makes a coin worth so much?
Even that is not. You can have, let's say we talk mint product.
Yes.
You have product that the mint made 2,000. Nobody wants them. They're being discounted. Like you can't sell them at half price.
Right.
You have other product that the mint made 25,000 and they triple in price.
Okay.
it's a question of.
So it's really
offering
just the interest of the people, there, basically.
the coin, the circulating coin. We have an idea of the mintage,
Mm-hmm.
and even there, take for example the famous 1981 quarter. They trend at about $15 in MS63.
Okay.
But the problem we're having is I see rolls selling for $550 for 40 coins. So people are paying practically full retail per coin for a roll.
Right.
So if I need a roll and I have to buy it in an auction or on eBay, it's going to be hard to sell them at trend price.
Yeah, you have no margin, right?
You know, you got a situation like this. In other kind, usually we work with either the trend or the Charlton catalog or the XB, whatever. I prefer Charlton and the trend. And I look at the price, I grade the item, and I put that price. The rest is just a question of the client buying it, what's he willing to pay for it? Is he a good client, buying regularly, buying a lot? And all that are factors that will determine the kind of discount I will give the person.
Right.
You know, like I was saying earlier, I grade the stuff in the store the same way I grade at CCCS.
Right.
Therefore, if I bought it at a decent price, my margin of profit is limited.
Exactly.
So I might not give 40% off on this material, but you'll buy properly graded material at, you know, the proper price.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a shop where the person sell a coin that's just fine and write EF and sell it to you double the EF price and then say, I'll give you 50% off, he's still making a ton of money.
Right.
I've seen clients coming here with coins in that situation, and he bought a 1943 quarter, paid $23 for it. The coin was just a find that I would have thrown in my silver bucket, and I had a find, an EF, in my showcase that was $12, the price of the trend.
Yes.
I gave it to him for $10.
Okay.
And we compared the two at home and realized
You understood
that
the
he was
difference.
more for his money here,
Right.
and he's been a client ever since.
Yeah.
He comes every week that we're open. And he's not a millionaire, but he buys whatever he needs.
Yeah.
And he's quite satisfied. And he bought the grading guide, and he has honed his skill a lot.
Right.
He's much better at grading. So, this is a mission accomplished.
Yes.
But it's one client at a time.
Yeah. Well, I think honesty has its own rewards, so it's the best way to do business. This way.
But it doesn't make you millionaire.
No, of course. Of course. Scammers are making money much quicker, but usually their careers don't last as long. Pardon me?
I sleep very well.
Yes, exactly. So let's say that someone wanted to get into buying. So what items would you say that are very good buys, and what items should people avoid at all costs?
Well, I tell collectors they should collect what they like and go with their budget. But if they want to collect coin series, like 1 cent or 25 cents, they should always aim at the key date first.
Okay.
Because the key date will keep going up. The regular coin in 10 years might be around the same price. So go with the key date, buy less, buy better, and buy the best coin you can afford. And this is going to be a better collection in the long run.
Okay. And what items should they avoid then?
Well, they decide what they like.
Okay.
I have clients that do just Canadian decimal, no variety, nothing.
Right.
They want everything. There's no two client decimal.
Okay.
So it really, they have to focus on what they like and, you know, buy according to their needs and buy the best they can.
So that's for the numismatic stuff. So what about bullions and bars? Are there things that you consider better to buy than others?
Well, the buyers for bullion are very different than the buyers.
Yes.
in
Yes.
numismatic. The bullion industry is very tough. There's a lot of competition. Material at the moment is difficult to get.
Yes.
And the price are dictated by those who have the material.
Right.
People, the people that have been in the bullion, the stacker we call, they know the market. They know what's going on. They know they have to pay good premium to get in the metal right now. If problem is the unexperienced collector that show up here thinking, oh, I'm going to buy silver. You look on in the news and you see silver is at $33.
Yes.
And he comes here and you tell him it's $45 an ounce, and he says, well, the newspaper says it's $12. You have to explain to them how the market is,
Yes.
why it's like that. It's a tough process. Some believe you, some don't believe you. They go around.
And then they understand that it's true.
Yeah, eventually they get to the idea it must be true.
Yes.
Telling me the same story. But yeah, you can. It's a free market, so I may sell an ounce 45. My neighbor can sell it 44 or 46. Another place in Montreal could be selling $2 cheaper.
Right.
The thing is, you have to consider, if I go to town, I'm going to have to go in the traffic. I'm going to have to pay park meter.
Yeah.
I'm going to maybe not find parking. Maybe I'll get
Yeah, especially in Montreal.
Montreal is a construction city.
Yep.
So, is it worth saving $2 per ounce when you want 5 ounces? If you want 100 ounce, well, talk to me. We can probably negotiate, and you'll probably get the same price as you can get in town.
Right.
The idea is always the more you buy, the better price you may get.
Yes.
But sometimes there's a limit to where we can go.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to look at the.
Yeah, you don't want to sell under what you paid for it, for example.
Well, I can have metal right now that I bought years ago, and I paid $45
Yes.
for it, and I will sell it at $45.
Just to get rid of it.
I
Okay.
may have some that I bought years ago and paid $23.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. The cost doesn't matter. What matters is if I sell it today and need to replace it, I have to buy it back, a little bit.
So your replacement cost is really what makes you decide on the prices then?
Yeah.
Okay.
The replacement cost
Right.
is usually what determines how much I'm going to ask for the material.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And the nicest price I can get is usually if I buy from people.
Right.
And this is a free market. I make an offer, it's accepted, it's all good. I usually pay at least bullion.
Okay.
Bullion. I know some shops that pay, they buy it at the price that they can send it to scrap.
Right.
And still make money.
Right.
So they'll pay 75, 80% of
Yes.
the scrap price.
Right.
Or bullion price. I try not to do that. I rarely have to send away, bullion.
Okay.
Usually, if I buy a large quantity, I'll make a few phone calls and move it to the right place.
Okay. Excellent.
I try to pay minimum the bullion price all the time.
When it comes to coin grades, if we go back to numismatic stuff, what would you say? Because you talked about key dates, which are a very good thing to buy. What would be the lowest grade you would consider a good grade to purchase?
Well, it all depends on what coin you're talking about.
Okay.
If you look at $1.48, it's very difficult to find very fine or low.
Yeah.
So this fixes the problem. If you find a DG, good for you. It's
Right.
very rare.
Right.
If you're looking at the 50 cent 21, well, you either have goods and very good, and you have mincy.
Okay.
In between, practically nothing.
I see.
So it's very difficult to generalize an idea like this.
I see.
It depends on the coin. You take the Newfoundland coin, there's some denominations that certain years don't exist in Mint State
Okay.
because the surviving example are so rare that the best ones in India.
Right.
So what do you do then? If a coin is $25,000 in EU, well, you might buy a DG for $1,500 and be quite happy with it. So
Right.
it depends on the wallet.
Okay. So there's no really minimum. So what about value maybe then? Are there like values that were not really worth purchasing? Like if a coin is worth $20?
Well, no. It goes with your budget.
Okay.
If you have, let's say, a reasonable but limited budget every week, and you collect the dollars, well, you'll be happy with MS63 worth $25.
Yeah.
But the problem on the market right now is that silver dollar are selling anywhere from $22 to $29 for bullion, even if there's only about $20 of silver.
Okay.
Because they're popular,
Yes.
and they sell for that. So I can buy a bunch of dollars and put them in a bowl in bulk and sell them all $25.
Right.
They could be worth 20, they could be worth 30, 35, and I put them all at 25.
You just average it out and
So
right.
some people buy them to collect, Some others buy them just for the investment.
For the weight, right?
Potential. The thing is that you have to think about is the metal. There's a lot of talk that we may see silver again at $50 or even more. If that was to happen, well, we might be buying those silver dollar at $28, $29 in the very near future.
Okay.
So if you buy them, collect them, you might, look at your collection in a year or two if the silver has gone up and say, oh, maybe I should sell it and make a profit.
Yeah.
So when price of metal go up, it has a tendency to clean up the market. All the low-grade material, unless it's key dates, tend to disappear in the melting pot.
Okay.
And eventually there will be less and less. And
So that means that the surviving coins will be worth more then.
well, yeah, but considering they most of the time made hundreds of thousands or millions
Right.
of coin, it will take time.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't care about the value of metal. They will still keep their collection, even if they could sell it, over the price that it's worth for
Right.
the metal. They don't want to sell it. The material will remain. We should have supplies for a long time.
Okay, excellent.
In my opinion.
Right. Well, it's all subjective. I guess it really depends on how the market decides to move, and there must be factors that we can't really consider until they happen, like the pandemic. I'm sure no one predicted that. So
In the 80s, when the metal went up due to the Hunter brother
yes,
scam, I know people that were going to stores where dealers were sitting there to buy coin all day, that they were going there to buy coin from those dealers. So if the dealer was paying $20, would get $22 from the melter. These guys would come in and say, hey, I want to buy a bucket full of dollars, how much? And the dealer would say, look, $24 a piece.
right.
And they would buy a whole bucket of them, pay cash, and leave with it.
Yeah.
And then the price crashed. And they've been sitting on the $1. In 2012, it went back to about the same height. But the max they could get was 22. They paid 24, 25.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. They wait. They're still
And
sitting
it crashed
on it.
again,
Now
right?
they're seeing the price go up, and they're crossing their fingers saying, I hope I can recuperate my money one day.
Yes.
Sometimes these people die and the family just dump the coin to the first dealer.
Right.
Some other time they are lucky and the price goes higher and they can recoup their money. But it's the same today. Prices are going up. There's some people buying the metal. It doesn't mean it's going to crash. With the way the economy is working right now, we might see the metal at a high price for many, many, many years.
Yes.
And silver is also a metal in high demand in the industry for solar panels, for cars, for cell phones. So there's a lot of talk that silver at $100 per ounce is not far-fetched.
Yeah, I did a video about that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and yeah, I calculated 113 would be a fair market value if everything went correctly. But of course, it's really suppressed, so it's very, I don't know if it's going to get there. But
when you have players that play with paper and
Yeah.
unlimited amount they can print, it's difficult.
exactly, like that's one of the points I wanted to address with you.
Right.
So since the start of the pandemic here in Montreal, we just went through the second complete shutdown of the businesses since last year. So how hard has it been for you and your business because of what everything is going on?
It has affected. The way the business was going in February 2020, before
Yes.
we got the first shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
I had an employee on the weekend, hired employee, and when we reopened, I had to let him go
Right.
completely because the business went down to almost the level of the first year.
Right.
It's been rising since, and it was better in the fall, but nowhere near the numbers. And then we closed again. And now we just reopened.
Yep.
It was decent yesterday. Today has been just okay.
Right.
The day's not over, but we've started this interview.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of business for sure.
No.
Yeah.
So it can be like that the rest of the day. Like it can pick up towards the end of the day when people stop working.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. It's affected. A lot of people probably are getting used to buy online, and even if the shop is open, they're not going to rush to the shop. We'll see how we can do.
So, and our supply, are you having difficulty sourcing the products, and are you having difficulty selling it? How is it going for the store right now?
I don't have too much trouble.
Okay.
The purchase have been down a whole lot.
Right.
After the first reopening in June, there was very, very few people coming in with collection. Before the lockdown, it was very frequent. Practically every weekend I would buy collection, small or big.
Okay.
Sometimes many collection in the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm just happy when I buy one. And sometimes I can buy one in 2 months.
Okay.
So it is not the same. I do have a lot of inventory, so it's not affecting me too much.
Right.
The only thing is I don't get, the high demand material.
Okay.
Because nothing's coming in.
Right.
I've started buying from other dealers, but they have the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
So the discount that we get between ourselves is not what it used to be.
Right.
So, but I prefer to make 10% because I have the item, then make nothing and no sales, and then go somewhere else.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
try to keep in hand as much key data as I can.
Because really, those are most of the demand, I'm guessing, for numismatic stuff.
There's always somebody that wants a 5 cent 25,
yes.
$1.48, or the good dates are always popular.
What are your expectations for 2021 in terms of prices and demand for physical silver and gold?
Well, it's hard to say. I think that the market will remain roughly the same for numismatic.
Okay.
As long as people have money, it's going to remain like this.
Okay.
We know that come June, the government is supposed to stop giving money.
Right.
We'll see the real unemployment then.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to affect us? I don't know. I'm sure there is collector that will be affected by that. There's also a lot of collectors that are wealthy enough that doesn't change a thing for them. So numismatic, I don't foresee much trouble for the moment.
Okay.
Bullion, it's all going to depend where the market goes. As long as we see major banks being fined hundreds of millions for, price gouging or price manipulation, and nothing is done about it.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult for the bullion to explode.
Right.
I know it's something we want to talk about, but we've seen a little attempt by supposedly Reddit user to short.
Yeah, it's a short squeeze.
The short.
Yes.
With the silver, although it's been denied by them pretty fast and stopped the rise of the metal pretty rapidly. But the price did go up. We believe it was pushed up by the same people that were losing a lot of money with GameStop.
Yeah.
So they try to pretend, let's short the metal, let's have the price go up, and they probably did short stop on metal, trying to, knowing full well it would go back down.
Yes.
Maybe they did. Maybe they, the $5 spend that we've seen, maybe they bought millions of ounces on paper, sold them back, and made up some of the loss they did with GameStop.
Right.
No, I'm not privy to their little scheme, but something was done, and it didn't last because the Reddit people didn't jump on board. They actually, the people on GameStop told the rest of them, don't touch the silver, we're not interested in that, we're not doing that.
Well, it did have an effect on the physical market. Everyone went out of stock pretty much in a day or two. So
because on the first couple of days, it was on a weekend.
Yeah.
And I noticed because I got alert from certain site I follow, and all the big ones basically by Sunday said no more metal to sell right now. We need to see where the price is going to go first.
Right.
We need to resupply, and it was difficult to know if they would get metal easily on Sunday night. So on the Monday, they saw the real situation, and the price had already started calming down.
Yeah.
But what it had for effect is all the people that bought the metal, the physical metal available during the weekend, the price that they had to pay to get metal on a rush on the Monday morning has made the retail market bullion right now what it is.
Yeah, the premium exploded,
10 to 14
almost
dollars
doubled.
on spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it might go down eventually when new material comes on the market.
Right.
You know, price tends to readjust. But at the moment, for what I see, the price are not going down much.
No, probably for a few months. If we just take an example of what happened last year, it's
Normally we see price adjusting within a week or so.
okay.
But one of the problems is that I think it has wake up a lot of people about the
Yes.
rarity of the physical metal
Right.
versus the paper, and there's not many big stockholder willing to sell their physical.
Mm-hmm.
So the distributor, the big site, are having difficulty finding as much metal as they need for their demand.
Yes.
So that may keep the price actually up and drive the spot price.
Yes. Also, it was the first time in I don't know how many years that silver was on the news. So I think the general public is now aware of it, where they in the past they had no idea. So
There was a big push in the U.S. A few years back where they were saying buy an ounce of gold, crash J.P. Morgan. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah. No.
Some years ago in the U.S., a lot of groups were trying to tell people like buy silver, physical silver,
Right.
because J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and all these banks are playing with paper,
Okay.
crashing the price. Buy physical, crash that.
Yeah.
And it did some good for the business of
Okay.
bullion. A lot of people are in the bullion right now
Because
since
of
those
that.
years and continue. I think this situation that happened in the last couple of weeks will have the same effect.
Right.
A lot of people will wake up to the silver situation and probably start buying bullion in larger quantities,
Right.
and making sure they get physical in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the bank Monday after the weekend, and I asked the bank how much they were selling silver,
Okay.
and they were selling a 10-ounce bar, $710.
Oh my God.
An ounce was $63.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was crazy.
I don't know if they sold any because
after that weekend.
right.
So I don't know if they readjust since then, but
They must have,
were quick to jump on board and
Yes.
raise the price, which leads me to believe that banks were all on top of things.
That's really possible. Yeah. They are really master manipulators and they know all the tricks. So
Banks are not in the business of losing money.
no, exactly.
Talking about banks, we see commercial a lot lately about open an account here, you have unlimited transaction with your Interact card, and
Yes.
they'll give you $300.
Mm-hmm.
How can a bank make money if they don't charge you? They just want your business.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll learn that if you want no fee, you have to have $5,000 in your account or at all times.
Right.
Things like that. But that's besides the point. The bank are working, they've been for years, to eliminate cash.
Yes. Yes.
And I keep telling my client, pay with cash everything.
Yeah.
The day cash is going to disappear, there won't be any bank account where you're going to have unlimited transaction with your Interact card. It's going to be $1.50, $2 per transaction. And what can you do when all the bank charges you?
Yeah. Yeah. No other option.
So,
Right.
we need to continue using cash. It is very important.
Yeah.
This is the only thing we have against the bank.
Yeah. And I'm guessing they're gonna go into digital. Like they're probably gonna have their own coins at some point. So
They want to go with no cash.
Yeah.
Just plastic.
Yep.
The thing is, they're all in the same boat. When they lose money, they debt the government, and when they make profit, they keep it all to themselves.
that's right. Yeah.
And it's always the consumer.
Yeah.
I don't think we should let the bank control the finance. We're not going to go too much into the bank system because I think it's not good. We used to have the Bank of Canada. It's a private bank now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a central bank like all of the other banks. So it's
Well, yeah, but they're a private bank dictating our
Yes.
interest rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and Trudeau just got rid pretty much of all of the gold that we had in reserve for the country. So we're pretty much at the
His
mercy of the
father
banks.
sold the Bank of Canada.
Yeah.
You know, the Bank of Canada, if you read the Constitution of 1867, the Bank of Canada was formed to allow the government to borrow money
Yes.
at zero interest,
Mm-hmm.
just pay it back, and that's it.
Yeah.
So this is what they've done till Trudeau was in power, and then he sold the Bank of Canada and borrowed money at interest on
Right.
the market.
Right.
And this money, with the interest at 20-some% in the 80s, got up to the billions of dollars. And his son is now making that even worse.
Yeah. His son is probably worse than the father was. I mean,
But it's all, you know, when I listen to politicians and they say, oh, it doesn't matter, all the country are spending that money.
right, exactly.
The problem is, who is loaning the money?
Yeah.
Follow the money, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Who is loaning the money? The Chinese government is loaning a ton of money to a lot of countries, and they're basically telling the government of those countries what to do.
Yes.
I think our country is into that situation, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Talking about selling, when it comes to selling old coins, how do you fix your prices in your store?
Well, I usually work with the same prices that I retail the material,
Mm-hmm.
and I pay a percentage that will vary according to, is it a key day, is it a
Okay.
key, or is it a common coin?
Okay.
And is it in a state that's basically just bullion?
Mm-hmm.
You have so much metal in the coin. If the coin is worth, it's a common date, and it's worth just double the metal.
Right.
Well, we'll buy for metal because a common coin we normally buy at 25 to 35% of the value.
Okay.
So by buying it for metal, we pay a better price than if we were buying it just as a percentage.
Okay.
And of course, there's also the experience. We can't evaluate every coin in the collection and say collection is worth, $32,000, and we're going to pay this portion. Usually we look at the expensive stuff, the key
Mhm.
dates. We'll figure out the value. We calculate the price for that. Same with the key date.
Okay.
The rest we look generally what the condition is. If there's just a few better ones, we'll count those. And the rest, when we hit this basically bullion value,
Okay.
then that's faster if we count the rest. And there's also a lot of material that could be just worth face value.
So that would be for buying, but when you're selling, like, how do you fix your prices? Do you go on the internet and look at auctions at the
Usually
Resolved, or?
Trend and Charlton,
Okay.
which is what most companies use.
Okay.
So, if the key date is, let's say we talked a lot about the $48 and an S60 is $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's probably what you're going to have to pay to buy one, because if I call a dealer and ask, "You have one for sale?" If he has one and he's willing to sell it, he's probably going to ask me $1,850 or $1,900.
Right.
So I don't have choice to sell it to you for $2,000.
Exactly.
And you have to pay tax.
Right.
Because if I buy it from a dealer, he's going to invoice me, charge me
Right.
tax, and I have to do the same thing.
Okay.
Not that I don't charge tax, but sometimes when I buy from public, we can work something.
Okay.
It's easier.
So, and how about the bullions and bars? How do you fix your prices?
I just follow the market.
Okay.
And try to stay a little bit under.
So, when you say the market, where do you look specifically
So I
to
look at
get
all
your
the big
prices?
players,
Okay.
how much they're selling.
Yeah.
They're usually all pretty much at par.
Yeah, similar, right?
And like for an ounce of silver, I'll try to stay under by $1.
Okay. So you'd go, say, on
Sometimes
Kitco or on Silver Gold Bull, look at what they're selling and try
I
to.
rarely use Kitco as a reference.
Okay.
For some reason, I prefer to check a place like Silver Gold.
Right.
There's Bullion Mart. There's different ones at Mix.
Yes.
Things like that.
Okay.
They move more stuff. And
Right.
Their price are different. Kitco doesn't have much value. They have price for metal, but they don't. Let's say you have a bar that's selling everywhere more. They don't have them
Yeah.
on their website. But if you go there and you pick that in their counter, they're going to say, "Oh, this is more." So I've had
Yeah,
people
they,
tell me,
Kitco pretty much got out of the small business this year. Like, if you want to buy now, I think it's a minimum of $5,000. They don't do small orders anymore. So
never actually done business with crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to go, and now we have to take an appointment. You can go directly, and when you do, like, there's a minimum. I can't remember if it's 2,000 or $5 or 5,000, but they won't sell you like 10 bullions or anything like that, unless it's gold, of course. But yeah, they probably pretty much just separated themselves from the small market, and now they only sell bulk. So for most people, that's not reasonable.
But it's sometimes less trouble.
Yeah.
Because you deal with people that have the money to buy.
Yes.
Won't bother, won't make fuss. You know, we say 80%, no, we say 20% of your clientele make your business, 80%
Yes.
waste your time.
Exactly.
I think for a company like Tipco, 80% of their business, we're wasting their time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you have a client that comes and start looking at a bunch of bullion and arguing that, oh, this Maple Leaf has some milk stuff, you have a nicer one.
Yeah.
You know, for a profit of probably 75 cents.
Right.
They don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
They'll prefer somebody that comes in, buy a box of 500 ounce.
Exactly.
Getting a look at the box. Here's the money and that's it. That's less trouble.
Right.
And it's more money too. So. This is our job to deal with, the people that make 1, 2, 5 ounce.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to start somewhere, so you have to have a place to go and understand the market and develop a relationship, and then get into it really. So
I don't have any problem in quantity or in small amount. I have clients that buy a couple of ounces at a time, and I have clients that may buy a box of 500 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem.
So what happens if, let's say, you purchase silver, and then like it happened a few times this year, the spot price drops like $3 or $4 in a day? But what do you do for your prices? Do you just hold them to sell them later, or?
It depends.
Okay.
If I can buy rapidly after at the new price,
Yeah.
I make an average, and usually I'm able to sell and still make $1 or so per ounce.
Yeah.
That's good. If I buy big quantity and it crash, sometimes I have to just store it and take a chance that price will go up.
Will go up, yeah.
Usually, my inventory is such that it doesn't matter. I follow the price of the market.
Okay.
I have to sell it under what I paid. I look at my whole inventory as one thing.
Yeah.
I may have bullion I paid $23, so if I sell for 42 and I bought at 44,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because I still have the inventory, and what I'll do is once I sell it, I'll replenish it. And
Right.
so all I care is how much does it cost me
Right.
to
Yes.
replace what I just sell today.
Okay.
So if I can buy it for $1 or $2 cheaper than I'm selling it today, that's fine. That's all that matters.
Okay. And how do you proceed normally when people come to buy from you? Like, do you negotiate on items, or you pretty much have a fixed price?
Well, if you buy 1 or 2 ounce, don't expect much discount.
Of course.
If you come and you buy a tube with
Yeah.
25 Silver Maple Leaf, or you buy a couple of kilos, things like that, we can talk.
Okay, so
I'm not.
so you're not
I don't
using
have,
fixed prices,
things
right?
I'll give you 5 or 10%. No,
Right.
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
How much I paid for the material, and all that. How much you're buying, how regularly are you
Yes.
buying here? Everything is up for negotiation.
Okay, excellent.
And the client always have the option of turning around and saying, no, thank you. I don't twist time.
Yeah.
I want it, I'll sell it to you. I don't want it.
And how about old coins? Like, are the prices more flexible or just the same as bullion when it comes to people buying them?
Like I say, it depends what it is.
Right.
Key dates, we normally
It's pretty firm.
price,
Right.
and since I grade them,
You know what they're worth.
yes.
Yes.
Well, the idea is if I buy a coin worth $300 and I gave $225 to the person who sold it to me,
Mm-hmm.
well, I can maybe do $275, but I'm not going to sell it at $250.
Yeah.
I need to make a little more.
Exactly.
profit.
You have to make a profit.
But the person is getting a coin well graded.
Yes.
I didn't lose the price at 400 saying it was a high grade.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
A lot of dealers, not all of them, but some lose the grade and the price to
Yeah.
make more money to be able to give big discounts.
Right.
But prefer, my clients are used to that.
Yeah.
I prefer to sell them well-graded material at the right price. The discount is smaller, yes, but they get their value.
Right. And being who you are, I guess people expect that your grades are going to be perfect. Where other places, yeah, exactly.
Trust me, when I'm not, they tell me. It doesn't happen to me.
I brought some items. I just want you to maybe have a look at them. Tell me, what you see and like how you would evaluate them for purchasing. If someone brought you a lot, for example, of different items. So I have a little bit of everything. Okay, so yeah, if you want to give me your comments on that.
This is an ounce of silver. These are just plated. They're not gold. These are the British 2 ounce. Very popular, by the way.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Queen Beast. That's the Greyhound of Richmond.
So you have ounces. Ounces I normally pay, like I was saying earlier, I'll pay usually spot.
Mm-hmm.
These, when you have just one, I'll sometimes pay just the same. But if
Okay.
you have a nice selection, I may pay a little premium.
Okay.
It's usually good stuff. Everything that's not pure, like these things, I'll calculate the content of metal in them.
Okay.
I pay a percentage of the metal. Usually I try to keep about 10% under the scrap metal.
Okay.
What I get at scrap.
Okay.
In order to make a bit of profit. And anything that's pure silver, like this ounces, I usually pay nice chocolate. I usually pay full bullion.
Okay, so you're paying basically what spot price for them, or spot? Okay, perfect. And yeah, so you did mention those were plated. You just looked at them and realized that they were not real. So yeah, so those came from Wish. So do you see often people bringing you fake plate? Yeah, because
I don't have a Sigma tester.
Okay.
I've never really needed one. I'm thinking about one because there's more and more. You can have bars like these. They look good, but they're just plated.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I buy, I'll do a couple of spot checks.
Okay.
I'll check what the weight looks like. So far, so good. Once in a while, like I remember getting a bar like this, but it was silver plated.
Yeah.
But it was written in mils, the thickness. When they do
Right.
that, it means it's a plated.
Okay.
And it was plated silver, and I didn't catch it because I was buying like 150.
Right.
pounds.
Right.
So it's hard to check one by one.
Okay.
When you buy. You can always do a magnet test. Like obviously, this is you're still in this. So we can do like this is.
That's right.
Obviously,
Yes.
good. The other look okay, but this one looked good though.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Normally, yeah, those I've seen before. Chinese copy.
Exactly. All of this came from Wish. So
Yeah. These I will check. Figure that they're probably Maple Leaf.
right. Usually on the tubes. Yeah, those are Maple Leafs. Those are
Do you
2015.
Do you know how you can tell if one of those coins is not real just by the look of it?
No, I don't.
If you look at the eye,
Okay.
it has 3 little lines,
Okay.
okay? And all the Chinese fake don't have the 3 lines.
Ah, okay. That's good to know.
That's one little trick.
Okay.
Another trick when you're dealing with those bars,
Mm-hmm.
you have the center.
The center one is more brilliant.
The center is like finished,
Yeah.
like a polish,
Right.
brilliant, and the rest is frosted.
Right.
Same with gold.
Okay.
The Chinese at the moment are not able to reproduce it.
Ah, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
You can tell. These things, it's all by experience. You look at it, you know it's real or not. I mean, when you've seen hundreds of thousands of silver dollars, you don't need to weigh them. I do it for grading if I
Right.
grade a eBay, but I don't do it when I buy. I just look at it and I look at the silver dollar.
So these, I believe, are. Yeah. See, those the seller wrote grade on them. So does it look correct to you, or they were like you were saying overgraded?
No, just look about right. The thing is, like I said, look at these 63 or AU
Mhm.
these dates. It's all $25.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the price we retail silver dollar.
Right.
So it doesn't matter really what grade it is. You can just, when I get these, sometimes I don't even check the grade. I just put $25.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
I put the year and $25. And this 1966,
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how many come here saying, I have small beads.
Yes, right.
I said, well, come show me. Oh, actually, I have a roll of them.
It's probably not the.
And when they do tell me that, I find a pair of 65,
Yeah.
small and a large. I put them aside, and when they arrive, I'll show them the two.
Right.
And I say, put yours there and compare.
Right.
This is the large, this is the small. They realize
Yeah.
pretty quick. Oh, okay.
Those are large.
Many people think they have large, or they have a 67 like this. They have some PL sets, have them with a 15-degree rotation,
Okay. Right.
and the diving needs to be 45.
Okay.
So they call them the poor man's diving.
Right.
And some people have that one, and they say, "Oh, it's $450."
Right.
It's a diving. You know, there's a lot of teaching to do with
Right.
when it comes to coins or bullion. You have to follow. You know, I don't go on eBay much. Like when I buy stuff from the mint, I use the catalog. I don't go check every item on eBay
Okay.
because sometimes there's stuff that sells a lot more on eBay, but I don't sell on eBay.
Right.
So I don't care really about them. There is things like when the first UFO coin came out, it went up quickly. So eBay was a reliable source of value.
Mm-hmm.
I would use it on occasion for things like that.
Just
but
to replace
I
this.
tend not to use it too. You know, I buy according to the catalog, and I sell
Yes.
according to the catalog. So if I have a client that buy a coin for $200 from the mint, and people sell these coins for $500 on eBay, good for it. He'll be back for more.
Yeah.
You know? And I made my percentage. So on that.
And when you purchase, are there quantities you prefer to purchase? Like, do you like large lots or medium lots or very small
I
lots?
prefer to buy often,
Okay.
so I can get new material all the time.
Okay.
Could be fun to buy, a $500,000 collection.
Right.
You have to have the money.
True. Yeah.
You know, my mother used to say, money doesn't grow on trees.
No.
So,
Well, I think the central banks would argue against that.
but no, I like to buy regularly,
Yeah.
and I like a variety of stuff. You know, I like to buy paper money, chartered banknotes,
Yes.
whatever. You know, I have different stuff coming in all the time.
Okay.
And if I always buy the same stuff, my clients, eventually will have the stuff and will tell me, well, you always have the same thing. I
Right.
want new things.
Yes.
I like when all kinds of stuff comes in.
Okay.
And I buy pretty much everything.
Right.
It's just the space to display it that I like.
Well, your store is pretty big, but coins take a lot of
I
space.
could take the local in front and fill it up with counter and
Yeah.
fill them all.
Yeah.
I only have one head and two hands, so
Yeah.
one store this big is enough.
Exactly. How do you? What's your outlook on the economy for the next few years? How do you think it's going to turn out?
I think with all the spending the government is doing, and all the job loss, and all the store closure, it's unfortunate. It's as usual. It is helping the big player. They say buy local. Go to your store nearby,
Yeah.
help them and stuff like that. But when they close us all the time, it's not helping us.
Yeah.
They say, oh, we're going to give you money to help you with your expenses while you're closed. Well, I've been closed twice and never got a penny out of that.
Right.
So I have to cover the expense. So I'm hoping that we're done with the closure for many years.
Right.
Forever. For sure, with all the stores that have closed and the jobs that are lost, there will be a readjustment in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully nothing too bring too much hardship to our way of life. But as I was mentioning earlier too, I think a lot of numismatics or collectors will continue nonetheless, unless they're a starter and they don't have good revenue and things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of them are a little more ahead in the years, and the house is paid or almost paid. The kids are grown up, and they have a little more means to collect. So we should see a hobby continue, hopefully.
And what's your thought on the reset that we're supposed to have in terms of the monetary system? Do you think it's going to happen, and if so, when?
I have clients that are convinced it's going to happen, and they're stacking metal just for that.
Yeah.
They're talking about it. The Go was even saying here, Premier was saying, an interesting book to read right now is The Great Reset by Schwartz.
Okay.
Schwab or something like
okay.
that. It's strange that a Premier would recommend this kind of reading. Maybe it's a hint to prepare ourselves.
Legault is a businessman, and he has a good head. I think he understands the economy very well. I think it's a good thing that he's suggesting that to prepare people.
Yeah. The problem is, I think a great reset, unless they do it really, to save the economy for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Reset everything. We're starting back at zero, and your house is yours, and that's it. And there's nothing like that. I don't think it's going to happen that.
Okay.
If they do a reset, they will offer people, okay, we'll pay your mortgage, we'll pay your credit card and everything, but your house is ours.
Right.
You're going to stay in your house, you're going to pay rent.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fine. But the people that their house are paid, they have no debts, they can't buy them back.
Right.
I don't think maybe they'll offer people, if you want to sell your house, we'll give you the market value, your house is ours.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is that you may become like Cuba. If you're alone with your wife in a big house with 4 bedrooms, they might say, well, since your house is ours, there's this family there with 6 children that need your house, and we're going to give you this 4.5 and this building there that you're not going to be happy with.
Right.
And you won't have the same. So I fear a great reset for things like that.
Yeah.
If they just say, okay, we wipe all the debts to countries, to province, to cities, to companies, to person,
Mm-hmm.
to banks, to
Right.
everything. Okay, but I don't know, not the way they're loaning money. It doesn't look that
I don't know either. I can't really understand how they can get us out of this hole that they dug. So
they may do it for country, for province,
Yeah.
by buying a resource, saying, well, we'll buy the right for the water, or all the iron, or all the gold in your country,
Yeah.
something like this, for so many years. They may do that, but if they own half the house in Canada, they'll be your landlord basically,
Yeah.
and you won't have much say. And there's going to be rules. They can't just kick you out the curb without advice and things like that.
Yeah.
It may happen. So I'm. If they wanted to do that, I'd like to see the plan ahead of time. The real plan.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
Read 1984.
all we can do is that it goes well because right now we have no power at all concerning that. It's all in the hands of the governments.
Historically, in the times of the Romans, the bankers were mainly Jewish people.
Yeah.
And back in the day, you were dealing with the banker directly.
Mm-hmm.
And today you deal with branch and employee and things like that. But back then it was the person that was loaning money. And they quickly realized that if they were strangling people with debt, they could lose their head.
Right.
By disgruntled clients.
Yeah.
So they had a habit every 7 years to reset your debt.
Okay.
So they would remove all interest that had been added
Mm-hmm.
on the balance and leave you, okay, you borrowed this much, you paid this plus interest over the years. We've added this in interest. So they would remove the interest part and you restart there.
Okay.
You start the debt, but they were restarting without the interest.
Yeah.
And they were doing that every 7 years.
Right.
And that way people were reasonably satisfied in paying them some interest.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with any bank system is that interest, the money doesn't exist to pay them.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just artificial money.
Yeah.
And eventually it has to blow up.
Exactly.
We'll see where the future leads us.
To conclude, do you have any suggestions for people getting into silver or gold, and how should they proceed?
I would tell them to learn how the market works before investing too much money.
Yeah.
And don't panic.
Right.
Because if you buy and as soon as the price crashes, you turn around to sell, you're always going to lose.
Yes.
And we see a lot of people doing that. So if you want to invest in metal, you have to do it with patience and for the long run.
Right.
Don't expect a profit tomorrow morning. And if you buy it, put it there and forget what you paid for it, because the bank manipulating the price and everything. And if they crash the price for a few days because some reason why they do it, don't panic, don't rush to sell your silver.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I may have to sell it 45 to follow the market, but I'll buy it back at 33 something that it is today.
Yeah.
So if you lose $10, $12 per ounce when you sell it, it's not fun. So learn, be sure you understand how it works, and do not panic. And look at it in the long run, not short monetary profit, over a couple of weeks. It could happen. Somebody could get into the metal, buy a bunch of silver, and in 2 weeks, metal soar to $50 an ounce, and you can sell it and make $5 an ounce of profit.
Right.
Nothing's impossible, but we haven't seen that in a long time, so it's better to be prudent.
Well, Louis, thank you very much for taking the time to do the interview. In finishing, maybe can you tell us if people want to use your grading service, how they can reach you?
I have a website at cccs.co.
Okay.
Forms are available for paper or for coins, and there's even a form to order product, because now we have a line of binder to put banknote or pages for coins and everything. So you have forms there to order everything. You have a rate page where the prices are, the address. You have the store address where you can deliver in person.
Okay.
Or you have the address where you can mail. We don't get anybody at the local where we do the work because the insurance are set for no visitors. But the shop is the dropping point and the pickup point.
Okay.
So that's a plus for CCCS and the shop.
Yes.
Every other information you may need, there's pictures of the products, like the holders, how they're made, etc. Fairly good pictures and descriptions.
Yes, and compared to the US graders, you do offer two options for that. You offer it in a hard case slab, and you have the soft ones.
For coin.
Yeah.
Paper money, there's only one type of holder.
Okay.
For the store, we have a physical address. We're open Wednesday to Sunday. We follow the hour of it's a flea market, so we are open during the hour they're open.
Okay.
Right now, because of curfew, we close at 7 on Thursday, Friday.
Right.
We close at 9 and then 8 after the first lockdown.
Okay.
So now we're open a little less, but we're open 5 days a week.
And what is your address?
The address is 3565 Boulevard Cachepot in St-Hubert. We're right in front of the Guzzo Cinema.
Yep.
Not very far from the Charlemagne Hospital.
Right.
Very easy access by the Dr. T Bridge or the Champlain Bridge or even the Victoria Bridge. So we invite everybody to come and visit us. As you've seen in this little film, we have a lot of inventory, and what you see in the counter is only a sampling of what we have.
Yes.
We have a good deal of material, and hope to see you soon.
Excellent. Well, thank you again.
My pleasure. It was fun.
Well, there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this interview and all of the subjects we went through. It's not every day that you can talk with someone with so much experience in this field. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below, and remember that a comment will be an entry for any future giveaways. Also, if any of the information given in this video was useful to you, please hit the like button so that I know that you like this type of content. If you're not subscribed already, subscribing will allow you to be informed by YouTube when we post a new video. And to conclude, here's a video I think you will really enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.